Imagine walking into a courtroom. Before anyone speaks, one person instantly stands out. High above everyone else sits the judge, dressed in a long, flowing black robe. It's such a familiar sight that most of us never stop to wonder why. Why black? Why a robe instead of a business suit? Is it simply tradition, or is there a deeper reason behind this centuries-old outfit? As it turns out, a judge's robe is much more than formal clothing. It represents authority, fairness, and the idea that justice should be bigger than any individual. The story behind it stretches back hundreds of years and reveals how something as simple as a piece of fabric became one of the most recognizable symbols of law. So, let's break it down right here on History of Simple Things. Judges didn't always wear black robes. In medieval Europe, judges typically dressed much like other educated or religious officials of the time. During the 12th and 13th centuries, long robes were common among scholars, clergy, and government officials because they symbolized education and social status rather than judicial authority. In England, where many modern legal traditions began, judges wore robes of different colors depending on the occasion. Scarlet robes were common for ceremonial events, while green, violet, or fur-lined robes appeared during different seasons or court sessions. The shift toward black came much later. One widely accepted explanation points to the late 17th century. After the death of England's King Charles II in 1685, or according to another tradition, after the death of Queen Mary II in 1694, judges began wearing black robes as mourning attire. While historians debate which event officially started the practice, the black robes remained long after the mourning period ended. Over time, black became permanently associated with the dignity and seriousness of the courtroom. Black wasn't chosen simply because it looked formal. Across many cultures, black has long been associated with solemnity, discipline, and respect. Courtrooms deal with matters that can dramatically change people's lives: criminal trials, family disputes, financial conflicts, and constitutional questions. The color reinforces that these decisions are never meant to be taken lightly. Unlike bright colors that attract attention, black also minimizes distractions. It keeps the focus on the law, the evidence, and the legal process rather than on the personality or fashion of the judge. There's another symbolic reason as well. Black projects neutrality. A judge is expected to remain impartial regardless of who appears before the court. The robe visually reminds everyone that personal opinions, wealth, status, and appearance should not influence justice. Perhaps the most important purpose of the robe is psychological. When a judge puts on the robe, they're stepping into an official role. The clothing signals that they are no longer acting as a private citizen, but as the representative of the legal system. Their personal beliefs, emotions, and preferences are supposed to remain outside the courtroom. The same principle applies to everyone present. Lawyers may wear expensive suits, while defendants or witnesses may come from completely different backgrounds, but the judge's robe stands apart from all of them. It symbolizes that everyone should receive equal treatment under the law. This idea is sometimes called the institution over the individual. The authority belongs to the judicial office itself, not to the person wearing the robe. When people picture judges, many also imagine large white wigs. Interestingly, those wigs are not universal. The tradition of judges wearing powdered wigs developed in England during the 17th century after wigs became fashionable among the upper classes. Even after wigs went out of everyday fashion, British courts continued using them as part of judicial dress because they represented continuity and respect for tradition. Today, however, many countries have abandoned wigs entirely. Judges in the United States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and many other nations generally wear only black robes. Even in the United Kingdom, wigs are now used in fewer types of court proceedings than they once were. The robe, however, has remained almost everywhere because its symbolism is considered timeless. Interestingly, wearing a robe isn't always required by law. In many jurisdictions, court rules or long-standing traditions strongly encourage judges to wear robes during official proceedings. However, the exact requirements can vary depending on the country, state, or even the specific court. Outside the courtroom, judges typically dress like everyone else. The robe is reserved for official duties because its symbolism only matters when justice is being administered. That distinction reinforces an important message. The authority belongs to the courtroom and the judicial office, not to the individual in everyday life. The next time you see a judge wearing a black robe, remember that you're looking at more than centuries-old fashion. That simple garment carries hundreds of years of legal tradition and symbolizes something much larger than the person wearing it. Its black color reflects seriousness, its plain appearance promotes neutrality, and its very existence reminds everyone that justice should be impartial. Whether in a small local courtroom or the highest court in the country, the robe quietly communicates the same message. Every person deserves to stand before a judge who represents the law, not themselves. And perhaps that's why, despite changing fashions over the centuries, the black robe has never really gone out of style. It remains one of the clearest visual symbols that justice should be fair, equal, and above personal identity. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.